All right, Akuhaish and Cthulhu Crisis, welcome to the booth and tell us about Chrono Trigger Jets of Time Legacy of Cyrus.
Well, Jets of Time is a Chrono Trigger randomizer, and we created a mode that's Legacy of Cyrus where it's Frog and Magus together go on a journey to take back Magus's castle and beat up Ozzy at the end.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and so it's an interesting category because it blocks off some of the game while putting a focus on kind of a narrative focus. So it'll be fun. And Aku is actually the world record holder for this category with Gear Rando. So it'll be a good run.
Awesome. Well, as I'm sure you've been feeling it, we're a little bit behind our schedule here, so I'll let you jump right into the run here.
That'll be perfect. So we can start, Aku, on your count.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so as we start here, we're going to be seeing what characters we're going to be getting, and then we have Ayla and Robo. So the thing is, this is a bit of a scavenger hunt in Legacy of Cyrus runs because you need a very particular set of things. You need Frog as a character, you need Magus as a character, and then your third party member can be whoever you find along the way that you think pairs with the other two characters. So usually it's somebody with a good dual tech for Frog. We don't have any of the characters we need yet, so we're going to be looking for some characters, and then we're also going to be looking for both pieces of the broken Masamune. And the Hero's Medal is not required, but it sure is nice if we come across it. So Aku here is doing a certain grind fight at the start of this that you can do with ease if you have Ayla or Magus as a starting character, because both of those characters can crit these birds in one hit, and this fight is worth a lot of XP and tech points. So Aku, what would your optimal third character be, like from what you have so far?
My preference is either Ayla or Luca.
Yeah, and Ayla is nice because she has drop kick with Frog, which is very good single target damage. Starting off with Rock Throw, are we going to get... we got Boogie. We did not get Beast Toss, which would have been a nice dual tech for this early game. And Aku is heading into the desert here. There are a number of mid-tier chests that you can get here by running from these dangerous encounters. We use an exploit that when it pauses the ATB bars when you're in a menu in wait mode. And so we can use that and run because the run menu continues to fill when you're in a menu. So we kind of abuse that to get out of these fights a little bit safer. Ooh, a hurricane. It's a good weapon for... Oh, we just got 2 frog weapons and a magus weapon. Now, if we had 2 frogs and a magus, that sure would be helpful.
Yeah, we will be getting Frog's ultimate weapon anyway.
Yeah, because that'll be the Masamune. Or the Grand Leon, as it's called. as the upgraded version's called that we're going to be looking for. So now Aku's probably going to do a little bit of shopping. Check a couple free key items or key items you can purchase before deciding what characters or key items he wants to go for first. A blue male. That is not a key item. To respond to chat here, someone in chat said they find Robo a good partner for everyone because of the heals and strong suite of attacks. I actually really like Robo in certain teams too, for the same reason. Having an AoE heal and good physical damage is a cool pairing to get. And in Jets, we've actually put in some work trying to make more of the characters useful in more situations, so that there's more decision making along the way. And Aku just found a gate key, and there's a few key items in Jets that unlock paths to different time periods or different areas. One of them is the gate key gives access to prehistory, where you would normally, like where in vanilla you'd find Ayla. And that also is going to give us access to a character check and a key item check in that place. So it's a very good find early because it opens up more paths we can take. And the level 15 character is waiting at the top of Dactyl Nest.
And if these two characters needed magic unlocked, even with the magic unlock flag on, I could still go to end of time and learn the first 3 techs.
And it's and if you don't need any of that, going through end of time like this and using the light pillars is faster than running down the rest of those mountains. Those Mystic, is that Mystic Mountains? No.
I think it is Mystic Mountain.
But yeah, it's faster because you have to fight a couple fights, or at least one long fight on the way down.
It is one guaranteed fight. If you mess it up, it's 2.
So the Dactyl Nest play is a really easy play because we're looking for characters. We know we need Frog. We know we need Magus. And the character here is going to be level 15. Our current characters, I'm not sure exactly what level they are, but probably like maybe 3 or 4?
5.
Maybe 5. So
Level
getting
5
a really
with
strong
Duke.
character before Cathedral is awful convenient for the Yakra fight. So this is a really good play.
Yeah, and I'll even do this play at level 1.
Yeah, it helps if you're a little bit faster because you can run a bit quicker. Aku's playing it a little risky here. And there are 2 skips on this on Dactyl Nest, and they're both like pixel perfect skips. Now we've got pretty decent setups for them, but they're still pretty particular. And Aku got it second try there, and without triggering the fight, which is even better, because you can definitely mess that up and get in the fight. This one has another setup, and he nails it. So that's like as fast as you can do Dactyl Nest. It's that. And there's Magus. Now this is a great place to find Magus because he's going to, or as he's going to be named this seed, Fritz, because he has 5, or he has 3 techs unlocked already. And so we don't have to spend a bunch of time gaining tech points for him to learn spells. He's going to start with some useful spells. And his name was a donation incentive, both him and Frog. And so we'll reveal that as we get to that as well. But Magus's name is Fritz, and he has been freed. New. Always nice to find a new.
Oh yeah, especially early on.
They can drop really good stuff. They're worth a lot of XP and tech points. They don't give you anything when you rob them.
And this fight is free if you can take out everything else but the new, because the new will just knock you down to 1 hit point and that's it.
So what starting text did we get on Magus or Fritz?
It was Dark Mist, Ice 2, and another one that I never use.
Dark Mist will get you by for a while. So this check right here is we're really hoping this isn't Frog, because if it's Frog, oh no, it can't. It can't be Frog.
It can be Frog.
Oh, it can be Frog, but then you would have to fix the Masamune before you could get access to Frog, and
Yeah.
that would really not be good, because then you're probably not getting Leap Slash.
There was one seed that Robo was there to unlock Grand Leon.
That would be unfortunate. I've had Magus be there, and that's awful because his techs were bad. And I had to go into Magus's castle immediately after with bad techs. So we get, after this Nagaet fight here, we get another character, and we're still on the hunt for Frog. If Frog isn't here, then Frog has to be in Guardia Castle, which means we would have to do all of Cathedral. Because the future 2300 is not accessible in Legacy of Cyrus. Magus's last tech was Magic Wall, which can be useful if Boss Rando is not kind, because it gives you a whole bunch of or it gives you what, auto barrier, or it gives you barrier.
Yeah, that's barrier. Luca has the one that gives shield.
Okay, I think that's protect. Yeah, and in certain situations, like if you have to go up against a really hard-hitting magic boss, there are situations where it would be useful. In normal jets, it could be useful for Son of Sun, if you're really early to that. So we're going to be running through Cathedral, grabbing the Bromide, because the Bromide lets us get tabs. Just getting a whole bunch of gear.
Yeah, with Gear Rando, it's nice to see all sorts of different gear.
Yeah, so let's explain the symbols when we're gaining gear, because like we've gotten some things that had a plus or a minus. Can you kind of briefly run down what those symbols mean?
Yeah, the plus is the gear got better, like either a better ability or hold different slew of things. Mine is it lost the ability, and then there's another one where it's a question mark, and that's the randomizer not knowing if it's better or worse, but it's different.
I see. So maybe like its effect has changed to something that's in a similar tier.
Yes.
I see.
And I
Running
have
through
not
that gargoyle.
I have not checked the gear yet because I haven't really needed to change it.
Yeah, this early, you're one-shotting everything anyway. And the menuing, if you just wait, you can get all the chests and then make the best decisions before like a boss where a gear difference is going to change how fast you can beat it.
Do we have a moment for a quick donation?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
All right, we have $50 from Elendar. Put this towards the Glitchy Peach incentive.
And GG to them as well. And that last Zelda 2 run, that was a lot of fun. So this room is a lot easier if you just run through it, because otherwise they block off the path. Now, Ayla's Fist is also randomized in Gear Rando. And so you can get different stat bonuses and things from that, which is, I think, a lot of fun. Luca with Protect, I don't think is going to get a spot.
Well, I could still bring her to End of Time. Unlock the first 3 things. Or just go with what I have.
Yeah, it really comes down to how fast do you think you're going to get Triple Kick and Leap Slash. Because that unlocks Drop Kick, which is a really strong dual tech between Frog and Ayla. And it's super useful throughout the run. Now, this is a mutant. Do you typically want to see a mutant here?
It doesn't matter.
No. So the bosses are scaled based off of where they're spawning. And so it tries to make a fair experience that can be very challenging.
And I do not have boss spot HP on, which would have made that mutant a little bit stronger, but with Shock and Magus, really wasn't all that bad.
Heading up to Guardia Castle here to get our next character recruitment, which I think has to be Frog.
Yes.
And it is. And what is Frog's name this seed? Because we did a donation incentive, and it is D Frog, with the 0 as the O. Which I think is a great name.
And now it is all about looking for the key items.
Yeah, so we're looking for the 2 broken pieces of the Masamune. We're looking for the Grand Leon. And then if we happen to find the Hero's Medal, it's a really, really good piece of gear for Frog. And it unlocks another key item. So if we happen to get it, it's pretty nice too. because it has added effects in Jets of Time.
Added effect plus another key item check.
And there it is. Are we gonna do the bridge for it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would too. But you could reset out of the bridge if it was something completely not worth it. Or in Legacy of Cyrus, sometimes things can roll to just be high tier loot, and maybe you don't want the piece of high tier loot. But in this case, there's a good enough chance that the Heroes Medal unlocks something you need that you probably just do the bridge, I think, in most cases. Yes, Adam pointing out in chat, the unreleased battle song, when that's been added back into this section of the game, as well as the Singing Mountain song in Death's Peak has been added back in as well. We've also added in a few low-tier scrapped weapons that can kind of spice up runs a little bit as well. So these fights, pretty much any AoE that'll kill the skeletons will end this fight. Otherwise, you can auto-attack Ozzy 3 times.
Or my favorite is charm once and then attack twice, because charm counts.
Yeah, and it steals that item, which can be pretty handy. There can be really good there's a really good sorry. There's a good chance of good drops on Xenon Bridge. Those skeletons and Ozzy are notorious for dropping like high tier loot. It'd be really handy, especially this early in the run. And
yeah, they were dropping.
Here's
speed
Massa
tabs.
and Mune. Oh, that's great. Speed tabs are so strong. And with the no future access, you lose access to a speed tab. So Massa and Mune boss fight. This one's pretty nice because you just hit it as hard as you can. You hope you can get all of its HP down before it goes into counterattack.
And even if it goes into its counterattack phase, it's a single target counterattack.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so it's Heckran, that's the one you do not want to get counterattacked on, because it hits a whole party.
Yeah. Yeah, that one can be really rough, especially early. And there he goes. So I would assume we're probably gonna turn in the bromide and get our tab reward for that, and then check that Heroes Medal reward. See if we can get another piece of Go mode. And so just to give a quick rundown of everything that you need to do in a Legacy of Cyrus run. So we have to find Magus and Frog, and then use them in our party to do the Northern Ruins quest line. And then we also go through Magus's castle and finish off Ozzy at Ozzy's fort. And then that'll roll credits. And so it's kind of a story of Magus and Frog working together to solve the problems they've caused. And it's just a fun category, you know. The end game of it is that Magus fight. You want to make sure you're strong enough for the Magus fight. And then the Ozzy trio fight just requires good strategy. but usually you're strong enough to do it. Heading back down into the desert.
Yeah, I got Robo, so this is open. Marl is locked in the future, so and Marl's side quest is not going to be a thing.
No.
Yeah, the Prism Shard is not going to have a key item. Which is really good for me because I prefer not to do that quest.
Yeah. Yeah, because that fight can be annoying. And there's just a lot of dialogue. But so we have one of the pieces of the sword. And then we have the desert will get us another key item. You need Robo to be able to get the reward for desert, but you can we have Robo, so we can grab him and do that after this. So this is one of the rewards where you can go fight the boss and then you turn it in and get the reward, which hopefully will be something Masamune related.
Well, I did complete that fight.
Good. So now we're going to go turn this in. Now this is a shop here where we have guaranteed lapises. Lapises are strong, but they're very expensive. Very expensive, but they heal 200 HP to all 3 party members, and any character can use them, which is pretty much the equivalent of having a Robo or a Frog on your team for healing. Frog's probably a little strong, or a bit stronger than that. It's pretty close to having a Robo that you haven't invested a lot of magic tabs in. And it's a Robo's ribbon. Now, probably not what Aku was looking for, since he doesn't want to use Robo. But
Yeah,
Robo's ribbon. Oh, go ahead.
Robo and Frog do pair all right, but Frog pairs better with other characters.
For sure. So this cave is, the earlier you can do this cave, the better, typically, because if you can get any amount of tech doubling, from any of these fights. It's just a really easy one-shottable place to get tech points. What I mean by tech doubling is, if let's say Frog is 5 tech points away from learning Heal, if you gain 8 tech points, it pays off the 5 you need to learn your next tech, but it doesn't upgrade the next. It doesn't like change the requirement. It just gives you the 8 again, and so you get a second tech unlocked. Now, it's not always as helpful as getting an entire tech unlocked. Sometimes it's just getting a massive amount of tech points twice. Like maybe you gain 20 tech points and you only needed 5, and so you only needed 10. You get the 10 and then you get 20 again. So it's not exactly doubling, but it's super efficient and it gets you your techs faster. But all of these fights are going to be pretty simple.
Do we have another moment for a donation?
Absolutely.
So our restreamer ADR donating $152.88 so that we can have some very ridiculous Final Fantasy randomizer flags for the feedback race. But that is so far our largest donation of the event.
Wow, very awesome.
That puts us up to $1,355.10 on the total.
So what do you know what flags those will be then?
It's a lot of reading to go through them.
Sure, sure.
But, yeah, it's all covered in the Tiltify in the top donor slot.
Perfect. I'll check it out. And we get Rust Tyranno at the end of Hecarim Cave here. So this is just a damage race. We want to deal as much damage as quick as we can because he just has high HP and it takes him a long time to do anything. And Rust Tyranno is a pushover.
He can be. But if he gets his attack off, it hurts a lot.
Yes, Demon Frog, your name got in, and we love it. So what key item checks do we have access to right now, Aku?
We have Mount Woe, Tyranno Lair, and Denadoro.
Alright. So finishing that boss off, we're gonna grab our reward from Tabin. Oh no, it's a Thomas Pop. So that unlocks Giant's Claw, where Rust Tyranno normally would have lived. So it kind of makes sense. We took his house key. Oh,
Yeah, I
gotta
didn't
pet the
really
cat.
want to see that.
No, you don't. You hope you don't have to do the fetch quests. But there's one forced encounter in there, and we typically run from it. The rest of it, if you execute the dungeon right, you'll only run into that and the boss. And we'll have to see what boss it is. How does this slot work in a boss rando situation? Can this be a scary boss in a dungeon like this?
It is a later or higher level boss spot.
So it'd be like higher than like Dinodoro?
Yes.
Oh, well, Demon Frog, we have tons of videos and things to help new players. If you ever need help along the way or have questions, feel free to message any one of us. But it's a lot of fun.
It is a ton of fun, yes.
So did we get any stellar pieces of gear, Aku, so far?
More speedy stuff.
Go with all those speed tabs we had.
Yeah. And I'm just not using speed tabs yet.
I really like Dinodoro. It's just a fun, quick dungeon, and when you're learning this randomizer, especially, and you're learning the routing to like dodge the fights and stuff, Dinodoro is so satisfying when you nail it the first time, because there's a lot of little skips, but it would take you like 15-20 minutes to learn it and get it down if you just sit and do it. It's so satisfying to run through.
And if I do everything correctly, the boss should be the next fight.
Yeah, it'll be the next fight after this. There's even a set of encounters you can hit on this dungeon that cost you like a minute something, I think, because it's a series of 3 encounters with like movement between them. It takes forever.
It's about 4 encounters, and it can be about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had the number 130 in my head for some reason, but yeah, it's a satisfying dungeon to run through. And all of these are encounter skips, like every movement you're seeing. This is the trickiest one, and you nailed it. And this guy tells us his opinions on mountains. Tyranno Lair is hard because all the areas look the same. It took a lot of practice to get good at Tyranno Lair. We won't see Tyranno Lair in this run. Not in this category. And the bird just barely missing that bird knocking you down.
I think I went up there too fast.
A power scarf for your troubles. The worst is when you do that and then you go up, like you run immediately to the ladder and the bird knocks you down again. It's so frustrating. You're already mad because you got knocked down the first time.
Right.
It'll be really interesting to see what effect rolls on the Masamune or in the Grand Leon.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that myself.
What did the Heroes Medal roll?
That's not part of Rando or Gear
Oh, it's
Rando.
not? Oh,
No.
okay.
No, it rolls the same thing every single time.
Oh, okay. Now we get into the real boss fight with the with Nizbal.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be too much trouble with Magus having shadow magic.
Yeah, it's not gonna be too much trouble. Just more annoying.
Yeah, be better if you had lightning.
Yeah.
So Ayla could help out.
But between Magus and Frog doing close to the same damage. And Ayla will just be making sure they can do things.
And I think I would be hoping for the Grand Leon here.
I'm always hoping for that.
It's a really good piece of equipment for Frog. It unlocks the Northern Ruins so that you can get the Frog power-up from that quest line.
It's also his best weapon in the game.
Yeah. So you're always hoping for that. We need the other piece of the Masamune, but we also don't need anything else it unlocks. And we don't need jerky. Nizbal going down. And we'll see what we get for our trouble. Now, Boss Randomizer, which was one of the donation incentives that was met, it really changes Magus's castle a bit, doesn't it?
Just those two fights in there.
The slash and flee. Oh no, it was
Yeah.
jerky.
Yes, it is jerky. Well, it's going to be a high tier item.
Yeah, you can turn in jerky and get some high tier loot. We got a sword for Chrono.
And it's a minus sword too.
And maybe this merchant will love it, but I don't think you can sell it.
No.
Alright, so I'm gonna look for our next dungeon here. What key item check we're gonna go for?
Giant's Claw.
I think I like Giant's Claw. It's another one where knowing the route saves you a lot of time, because this can be a confusing dungeon, and it's one of the only ones that gives you a way to accidentally go back to the start of it, which is very frustrating. And you don't. That's the only fight we're gonna hopefully run into, other than the boss.
And there's 3 power tabs in this dungeon. I have not looked at what the tabs rolled yet either.
Yeah, a few chests. Sometimes you can pull good stuff. Triple Tech Rock is found here. And in Gear Rando, the rocks effects can be randomized, which can make them worth equipping even if you're not using the trio. And it did roll something, because it says Blue Rock Plus. That means it did roll an added effect.
Yeah, which I will check at the save point.
Yeah, the fun thing about this dungeon is it's everywhere you have a decision to make, it's the opposite of Tyranno Lair, which is why it makes both of them very tricky to learn when you're new. In some of the rooms, you'll see runners like pause for a second and think like, left. But it's like the same dungeon in reverse, but there's a couple of choices to make. Shield.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be using that.
A lot of dash rings.
Yep.
Got a fast team that does quite a bit of damage. Do you have leap slash or triple kick?
Nope.
Or are you on the way?
I don't know. I haven't even looked at that yet.
So this is the flea fight. And we got a Doomsicle. That'll be nice for Magus all the times he auto attacks. Flea knows we're coming for Magus. He's trying to stop us. So Flea has a pretty devastating counter that they can use. Called, what is it? Stare?
The stare, yes.
The stare. And they won't do it if you have a character downed. They stop using it. So sometimes it's worthwhile to leave a character down for a minute just to pop off some damage.
Yeah, that is one of my strategies, is let one person go down and then attack with everything. But the stare doesn't happen until Flea is down to half health.
Uh-oh. Ooh, it hurts. That is what we're talking about. As Ayla takes a short nap.
Well, it powers up Black Hole.
Unfortunately, that also means Ayla didn't get tech points for that fight.
Correct.
Or XP.
That is the unfortunate part of that.
Luckily, you don't need very many techs on Ayla. And there is the other piece of the Broken Masamune. And we're just looking for the Grand Leon.
And 2 spots left that it can be.
That's Mount Woe or Reptite Lair. One dungeon is faster. One dungeon has better gear. Which one do you choose?
I'm gonna choose the faster one. Well, hopefully the faster one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble.
With Boss Rando, everything's a gamble.
Oh, yeah, you're right. With Boss Rando, I don't know that I would risk Woe. 'Cause I don't know how bad the bosses can be there.
Yeah, and that is a really high level spot.
Demon Frog in chat. I agree. He says, as a noob, if my tech sucked, I would do Woe to tech up faster. That would be a big thing in my decision too. Would be I would do Woe because if I knew I could beat Giga Gaia, I would do Woe. But ooh, triple kick on the way. And heal on the way. Now we just hope for Leap Slash on Frog. But that's pretty nice because that means those tech points we lost aren't going to really matter. Because you'll have everything you need on Ayla. And if anybody has interest in checking it out, join the Discord. It's a really good way we share information and guides, videos, all sorts of stuff. We always want to help new players. So, Legacy of Cyrus is one of my favorite ways to play. And I maybe played the most of them of anybody. It's one of the couple categories that I made, and Aku is the best Legacy of Cyrus runner right now. And so he has the world record being a sub 1 hour, which is just wild because I remember when it first came out, there have been changes since, but when it first came out, it took me forever to get under a 2:30.
Well, that was also when Future was
Yeah,
inside of it.
That's true. And Mount Woe was hard to get to. Running through Reptite Lair here. Any bosses that would be of any worry at all here, or is this spot low enough tier that you aren't going to have much problems?
I should not have problems, especially with prism specs that I just picked up in a secret tunnel.
Prism specs are always nice. They boost those characters, or that character's damage by 50%.
Yes. And the hero medal has prism specs ability on it.
Mm-hmm. Using all the tabs, get as strong as you can before before heading
whatever
into
is
this
here.
fight. Yeah. Oh no, it's the other general. Super Slash.
And what's super about him is he loses all of his magic defense.
Well, that is super. Yeah, I think ironically, Super Slash is much easier than regular Slash, right?
Yes, he is.
Going to run through the rest of that dungeon.
And I got pendant from that.
Pendant. So that unlocks some high tier loot checks, or not high tier loot that you could get from the sealed chests hidden throughout 600 and 1000 AD. We may or may not go get any of those because I think you've got pretty solid gear, right?
Yeah, if I do get any, it would be from the Mayor's Manor thing, where I can get 4 of them quickly. And then going to the final dungeon. So I'm going to be using up all of my time. Unfortunately.
I love Mount Woe. It's kind of a meme in our community that it's my favorite dungeon and everyone else hates it.
I'm going to be going through very quickly.
Yeah. That's one of the things I like about it is if you go there early and you need gear, you can spend extra time there, get extra chests, fight the rebels, get extra tech points, XP, or you can like sprint through the whole dungeon and cut out like pretty good amounts of time from it. It all depends on what you need, which is part of why I wanted to make it the finish of another category I made, Ice Age. Is it finishes with a buffed up Giga Gaia, and I wanted to do that because I wanted to give the option to look for gear. Thought that was fun. Good skip there. That one can be a bit tricky at first.
And I will be abusing the run in tech menu thing.
we're probably not going to see a lot of fights on the way up here. Just because at this point we're strong enough to be able to go in and do Magus's castle. So we just need the key item from here.
Yeah, and level 20, which is about where I am, is what I'm looking for a Legacy of Cyrus run.
But if you do, like, in a non-boss rando, I would actually recommend coming here pretty early, like, as soon as you know you can beat Giga Gaia. For that exact reason, you can get really good gear, and you can have the tech point mobs here. But in this situation, since we're doing it kind of last, it's not going to be very valuable.
And I will be getting chests that are right on the way.
Ooh, power tap. You've got everything you could need for Ayla except maybe Tailspin.
Yep. I just need Leap Slash on Frog.
Yeah, then you'd have Dropkick, and Dropkick is so valuable for so many bosses, especially the trio fight at the end of this run.
Yes. There's the rebels I could have fought, and they would give a lot of tech points. Only if I can hit them, though.
Yeah, so your hit stat becomes super important for that if you're gonna grind that way. But it can definitely be worth it in situations. Oh, hello, Mother Brain. Funny finding you here. Just casually healing for 350.
Yeah.
397.
Yeah, it's like 400.
You don't want to, the biggest thing in this fight is you don't want to destroy all the monitors, because if you destroy all the monitors, she starts hitting with a pretty hard hitting attack. So unless you know you can, like, deal enough damage quick, just take her out. If you have a really solid dual tech or triple tech, like drop kick would make this fight so easy. Sometimes Dark Bomb can be really useful here because it hits her and that top of monitor. And so that'll take out one of the healers. Dealing as much damage as we can, as fast as we can. Triple kick is just so useful. Mother Brain should go down pretty quick here.
Do I have a minute just to plug the charity real quick?
Sure.
It's been an hour. It's been a long time.
Absolutely.
So this marathon is raising money for the Burn Children's Fund, which is associated with the South Carolina firefighters and the Medical University of South Carolina. Their mission is to ease the recovery process for MUSC's pediatric burn patients and their families through supplies and training for the highest quality burn care, direct family support, and education. Their big events are Camp Can Do, which is a summer camp for those pediatric burn patients. And Ross, our contact over at the organization, was talking earlier this morning about how impactful that was in his desire to work there. In particularly seeing kids who's had severe burns to their hands being able to catch a fish at the summer camp with nurses and firefighters who are experienced in recovery from burns. So it's a great charity. We're very happy to partner with them for this event, and we look forward to raising a lot of money for them. One note that was made is that it's about $500 to get a kid into that summer camp, and we're at $1,355 and change right now. Every time we push it up a little bit more, it's another kid that we're helping recover. So keep that in mind. Check out the incentives in the schedule and see if there's anything that you want to push forward in all of those.
Yeah, we've been excited to do this event because it's just such a good cause, and thank you for sharing that. So Aku is setting up the Northern Ruins quest line here, which involves fighting these ghost enemies. Now, the thing that can be a little frustrating sometimes with these ghost enemies is they have two different counterattacks they can use when you defeat them. One of them is called Grudge, and it does a lot of damage. And if there's a fight here that has 4 of these enemies, and if they all 4 or 3 of them use Grudge and it does enough damage, like it one-shot Frog and one-shot Magus. Well, when we get to the fight with 4 of them, it could one-shot our whole team, making us redo this whole area. Because it's on the way out, so you can't, go back and save after these first 2. So, it has been in a lot of us LOC players' nightmares.
Yeah, we can take 2 of them out or try to take them out one by one, but that's just slow.
It's so slow. You could almost try it the AoE way twice, and the time it would take you to take them out one at a time. So most of us take the gamble. Okay, you're only gonna get 2. It goes from left to right, they trigger, so you can tell where you're at, so we know at least one of them would have survived. But that has killed some PB runs for me.
I think in my world record run, I did get all 4.
And you survived it?
Yeah. No, I did not survive it. I had to redo it. It's still sub 1 hour. Just because of how quickly I got go mode.
That's wild. So the Northern Ruins is it's a bit confusing the first couple times you do it, because you have to talk to people in a certain order and go kind of back and forth a little bit. But this is going to have fixed this room, which will give us access to Cyrus's grave. and that will power up Frog. He gains, I believe, 2 speed and 10 power,
Yeah.
which is pretty decent. So it's a nice buff for him. It takes him to 14 speed standard, which is above average. And the nice thing about Legacy of Cyrus nowadays is because it's its own category and flag set in the in the web generator, it does cut off access to the future. It also ends the run properly, so when you finish the run, it will go to credits. And it also makes it so that you can't do things out of order, because there is an order to the events in Legacy of Cyrus. It makes sure that you've done this quest before you can do Magus's Castle, and then it makes sure you've done Magus's Castle before you can enter Ozzy's Fort. That's been really nice for the category, because it's made it easier to get into. Aku getting all healed up before Magus's Castle. Trigger one of the coolest cutscenes in the game, with D-Frog opening the secret passage here with a sword.
Magus sitting over there like, don't you see that button that we all press?
Yeah. Magus is like, you guys know I used this it's alright, Frog. Go do your thing. This is a big moment for you.
Demon Frog, the fool who challenged Fritz. And the Grand Leon rolled Wonder.
Oh, so that makes it do like a random amount of damage, and it can do pretty crazy damage sometimes.
Yeah, and we will see a ton of that different damage on these boss fights.
Quick donation, real quick, very fast. We got
Sure.
$50 from Demon Frog. It says that it is an incentive choice for Aku.
It's a what?
You get to choose what incentive that $50 is going towards.
Yeah, give me some time to think about that.
We enter the fake flea fight here, and that gets us MP bustered by whoever attacks. But it's not gonna be, or it's probably not gonna be flea. It's a new. I think that's Guardian.
It is Guardian.
Everyone remembers this part of Chrono Trigger, where the new and his bits are flying through space on the carpet. I think this is gonna go down pretty quickly. Noirdian. There it goes.
That
So
nice drop kick damage.
Oh, it's so good. It is definitely one of the strongest techs in Legacy of Cyrus. And now we run over to Slash's chambers. And we will see what boss we get there. I'm hoping for Giga Gaia. I think it'd just be great to see all the 3-part bosses.
Well, in Ozzy's Fort, there's 2 more chances there for Giga Gaia.
Oh, perfect. Giga Gaia is my favorite boss because he's so goofy looking. He's a little less goofy looking when he gets moved.
Nope, it's the other mutant. So we're seeing all 3 of the mutants.
I always liked Magus's Castle. I think the movement through it is pretty fun. And also, it's one of the dungeons that, like, you'll see the biggest difference in time between, like, a new runner and a runner that's really good at Magus's Castle. There's a lot of time difference there. So it's a fun one to practice. Once you start getting good at it, it's just very satisfying. We get through the mutant fight, and we'll head further into the castle. So we don't need the experience or tech points anymore. This late in the run. If you had a really early, like super early go mode, sometimes you would take some of these fights for the experience, but it's just not going to be useful for us this run. So we're going to be running from the ones we have to run into, and then skipping the ones, hopefully, that we can skip.
Kind of hoping for another prism spec, just because.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Always helpful. I like silver studs for Ayla, so that drop kick is like free, pretty much. Triple kick is such an expensive tech.
It is expensive, but when you only need it like maybe once or twice at combat.
Yeah, that's true. It's really nice for Magus. Because you can ignore what barrier he has up and just drop kick him repeatedly for 3,000 damage. Depending how your techs and gear have been.
Yeah.
It can be massive damage. Aku getting a little greedy there and getting into the fight. I always call this the Donkey Kong room because it makes me think of old Donkey Kong games. Aku nailing the pit room. Couple different routes through that pit room. That bird is the bane of my existence. The one at the bottom of the stairs. Always mess that one up.
Yeah, that bird is the hardest for me to go through at times too.
In this one, until you get it down, you watch everybody else and they're like nailing that, and you're like, it doesn't look like they're doing much. So that one takes a lot of practice to get.
And this fight is one of the few that water is the best to use.
Gold earring, but not a stud. Gold earring gives 50% bonus health. So whatever your health is, it gives you a 50% boost, which can be really nice. I find it makes Magus a lot less squishy.
It also helps with Dino Tail and Frog Squash.
Mm-hmm. Can be really useful for those. Both of those techs are based off missing health. That was a quick room running around those pillars perfectly. Now we get into the first Aussie fight here. After this, we'll have Magus, and then Aussie's Fort, and then the time ends when Aussie drops down the pit. So, not right now, but when we see him in Aussie's Fort. And Boss Rando can make it a lot trickier because some of the bosses you can hit early on, especially, can be pretty problematic. But Aku navigated it really well. He's very experienced with Boss Rando.
I have studied every boss, their scripts, what they're weak to. So yeah, going at level 26 should be nice and easy from here on out.
Yeah, especially with dropkick making. Magus is not going to like dropkick very much at all. Now, who are we going to roll for Magus? So Magus is randomized, and it is randomized to whoever is in the future. So it's going to be Marl, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's what our developers have created it to be.
Mm-hmm. And so that's nice because if you do have a seed where you do have to get all the characters, you at least get the info of what big tech the Magus fight is going to use, because that is also randomized. So in this case, I think it's Hexagon Mist
Yes, it is.
that Marl will use, which means if you had water protection, you could use that to protect against it. So this is going to be a pretty quick fight with mostly drop kicks. How much damage is drop kick doing on average?
Around 2,000-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, and Magus Marl used Shadow, so I attacked with Frog to lower the defense of magic, the magic defense, and used Dark Matter. And then a couple of drop kicks later, fight is done.
Perfect. So that's gonna dump us into 12,000 BC, which is the like the Ice Age time. Then we're gonna fly back, and we gotta go stop Ozzy because he got out of here, and he headed into, or he went and hid in Ozzy's fort. So we got to go hunt him down there. And then that's going to be our final boss gauntlet here. Is going to be a set of 2 random bosses, and then the fight against Ozzy, Slash, and Flea all at the same time to finish out the run. As we fly to the Middle Ages to begin the final assault on Ozzy's fort.
Gonna heal up one final time. And then run in. And I ran out of shelters well before going into Magus's castle. And inside Ozzy's fort, there are no safe spots, so no shelter usage allowed inside.
I always like this, because if you're really fast, or if your characters aren't that strong when you get here, sometimes that trio fight is a bit of a gamble if your gear's not great. So it's, there's something about like saving before this and knowing like I might have to do this a second time.
And I always safety save. It might cost a little bit of time, but to me it's worth it.
Oh, you do leave and save after the second boss?
No, I don't save then. I just rush in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I save before I enter too, because it's too big of a gamble. I'm not fighting Magus again if I miscalculate or something.
Yeah.
We get Zombor here. Zombor is made of 2 parts, and they take magic damage from different sources, but are immune to the other, or actually absorb it. So you've got to kind of pick which one you want to take down first. But that fight went pretty clean.
Yeah, I just had to recover the MP from MP Buster.
I always thought this was funny when I was a kid. That he brings these guys out onto these treadmills.
I still think it's funny. One more chance at Giga Gaia.
Oh, come on. He's got to be here. He knows I'm on commentary. Mount Woe is my favorite dungeon, and Giga Gaia is my favorite boss. Uh-oh. Son of Sun. So can this be a pretty dangerous spot for any of the enemies?
Not really.
Just knowing you're gonna be taking auto or counter attacks.
It's more that I know I'm going to be taking attacks like the flare and the next thing. And the correct flame is not in existence until after roulette shuffles. So you do have some time to set up.
Now, Son of Sun is probably a worst case scenario here, in a way, right? As far as time goes.
As far as time, yes. and I lost count of how many hits I got in.
Yeah, this fight, when you run this and you start running into Son of Sun, you have to hit the correct bit 10 times, and it's really easy to lose track at about 7 or 8. There it goes. Oh, and slurp cut just in time.
Yes. And no other dual techs learned. Just drop kick. The only one that matters.
And we head into the final fight of the run. I love how campy these three are. Like, I always wanted a game where I could play as Ozzy, Slash, and Flea, because they seem like they'd be a fun party to like tell a story through.
And that damage from drop kick. I think that was the highest roll it could roll to for that 6,000.
Perfectly executed. Memory cap plus. There's a for those that really enjoy the music in this game, there's an album that's an arrangement by Mitsuda and a group called Millennial Fair. It's called Brink of Time, and it is a really good arrangement album. If you ever want to hear some. So here we attack the switch, and this time we get dropped down the pit. And time stops when the cat hits the switch here. And it's going to be 135.20. Yep, that is the finish of the run. The cat finishes the final boss for you. So a strong finish from Aku into the last bit there for Legacy of Cyrus. And you didn't have to do the trial, but otherwise it was 100% seed.
Well, I had Robo and I did his mission instead.
Yeah, since Marl was in the future, it couldn't have been trial.
So GG's to Aku for this run. We are very shortly going to be heading into a setup block, just very short to cut over to the next restreamer and host. So hope everybody sticks around. Should not be very long to cut over to that. And our next run is Pokemon Crystal Randomizer with Warp plus Item Randomizer in there. So our next restreamer Hate and our next host Karant coming in. Snowbear going to be the next runner, with Trickums and Ergotai as the commentary for this. And yes, Aku, $50 on your incentive choice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And we've got Pokemon Crystal character name. See what he picks.
Is that bike? Oh, that's bike surf music only for the Crystal Randomizer.
Seems like. You could also troll the Mega Man 2 randomizer crew with the slowest health pickup.
Yeah, let's go with that one. Slowest health pickup.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, thank you for having us. We had a great time.
Well, thank you for the run and the commentary. It was great to have you both here.